Hey, and welcome to Meal Prep. Now, before we talk about the food, let me just say Happy Mother's Day, because it is Mother's Day today. And listen, no rest for the weary. Still had meal prepping to do. The kids are coming over at lunchtime, and we're going to order some Chinese, and they're going to bring some kind of dessert. I don't know what, but I'm going to eat it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Well, on Facebook this morning, y'all know my daughter is expecting, and she posted this thing that I just absolutely loved that showed a picture of like the different types of mothers. And I wrote them down. I just wanted to share that with you. Happy Mother's Day to expectant mothers, spiritual mothers, biological mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, single mothers, stepmothers, grieving mothers, grandmothers. You can add aunts, cousins, sisters. You don't have to have had a biological child to feel the place of a mother. A mother is someone who nurtures and loves and cares and puts an ear out for you, listens to you, does all kinds of things. So if you didn't ever have a child, don't worry. I'm sure you fall somewhere on this category. And let's add our pets too. We say fur moms, but guess what? Scaly moms. We're moms too. Listen, she got her breakfast before I got mine this morning, so that's how it works when you're a mom. So happy Mother's Day. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, no matter what you're doing. If you're celebrating, if you're not celebrating, just happy Mother's Day. So now what we're cooking this week is easy, but it was kind of a lot of steps, a lot of chopping and whatnot. For breakfast, I'm doing a Crockpot breakfast casserole. The recipe I found was for 8 servings. I don't need 8 servings, so I knocked it down to 6, which I really only needed 4, but I was afraid maybe if I knocked it, I guess I could have put it in my round crock pot, but I put it in my oval. So I made it for 6. The extra 2 David can eat, or I can save it for another day. On up to Friday. I reworked the amounts that go in it. I didn't scale it. I just reworked what sounded good. And my fingers are crossed because at the time I'm sitting here taping this, normally I have everything cooked. And I have already tested it to see if it worked out okay or not. So I'm blindly telling you that I have this delicious Crockpot breakfast casserole for meal prep. I don't think I can go wrong though. Hash browns, eggs, peppers, onions, bacon, some cheese. For lunch, I'm doing cranberry pecan chicken salad. My original recipe was cranberry almond, and I made that when I was on low carb. And you know, low carb, you can have the mayonnaise. So it was my Duke's mayonnaise, which is my beloved mayonnaise, and there was enough of it to make it creamy. Well, I lightened the recipe because the points were, woo, I didn't even figure the points. Don't have to know how much mayonnaise I had in there. That it was, I don't, was it maybe 10? I don't even know if I was counting points. I know I was doing the low carb. Well, I decided I wanted to do pecans instead because I thought that sounded good. So I lightened it up, got the points down. You'll see that I changed it the last minute from how many servings. I thought maybe I would do 8 servings. Wasn't enough. So I whittled it down to 6 servings, and I think that worked out pretty good. So that is it. I'm also going to I'm not going to show it on film because hopefully he'll film. It's his recipe. He'll film it himself. Roy over at Recipes with Roy is a maple cake, light maple cake with maple icing. I'm going to make that for the week. It's 1 point per serve, and it gets like 8 little rectangular pieces out of it for 1 point, and that's with the icing too. So I couldn't pass that up because the cheesecakes I make are a point. So it's still a point dessert if I don't eat the whole thing. But I'll probably make that tonight after the kids leave and David goes to work, or goes to bed or something. I'll get in there and make that. But I didn't want to film that. I want to save that for him to film in some future date. So go check out his website. Check out his website. I'm going to link his recipe below, but I'm also going to link the video where he makes the cream cheese that you use in it. So go check out that. Check out his Get to Know Him video. Learn a little bit about him, and then subscribe. Tell him Kim sent you and show him some subscription love. He's trying to build his channel. He just got started, and he's got a lot of good recipes to share. He lost like 120 pounds, so he did something right. Anyway, that is it for the meal prep this week. Let's just turn around and get started. To start, we're going to do our Crockpot breakfast casserole. If you don't use a liner, definitely be sure to spray it. I sprayed the liner because it's going to be eggs and cheese, and I just wanted to have some extra insurance. Now, I'm using 4 cups of shredded hash browns. That's what the recipe will be written for. But I had 2 partial bags. Some was the cubed with the already, the O'Brien, and then part of it was shredded. So I just mixed them together. Put half, which would be 2 cups, on the bottom and spread them around. Now, the next layer is going to be, I have a medium green, a medium red, and then like a medium onion. I'm going to mix them together. I can already tell when I chopped these up it was going to be too much for my taste. So just put as much peppers and onions as the next layer as you want. The rest, I just threw in a plastic bag and put them in the freezer. Now, this is my favorite bacon, the fully cooked bacon from Walmart. Used to come 15 to a pack, and I forgot they whittled it down to 10. So I wanted to use 12 slices. Ended up I could only use 10. So that's how the recipe is written. Cook it. You can use regular bacon, whatever kind of bacon you want to use, and then put half of that. Now we're just going to repeat those layers. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing, just the exact same thing. Then all we have to do is, I started with 10 eggs when I wrote the recipe because I wasn't sure. I just kind of come up with the amounts on my own based on how many servings I wanted as opposed to 8 of the recipe. So when I poured them on there, I looked and it didn't look like enough. So I beat up 2 more eggs, and that's what you're going to see me pour on now, are the 2 extra eggs. So it's 12 eggs altogether. Then the last step is to top it with 4 ounces of shredded cheese. Now I'm cutting it half with this. I just want to show you the package. The Cabot 75% light. I'm using 2 ounces of that and 2 ounces of just plain everyday sharp shredded cheddar. Now, that cheese shreds, but I had it in the freezer so it crumbles. Just take a note, if you freeze it, it will crumble in your hands instead of shredding. So we just want to put all of the cheese on top of the casserole. Then it's just a matter of covering it and cooking it on high for 4 hours. Well, it's been 15 minutes less than 4 hours. I was impatient, wanting to get this thing filmed and uploaded, and it's perfectly done. All I'm going to do, since this is too heavy to weigh, I'm just going to try to eyeball 6 servings into my container, and looky there how nice it stuck together. That came out to be a very, very pretty casserole. I think it's going to taste as good as it looks. So let me just divide these out into my 6 containers. And here they are. They came out to be 4 ITRACKBITES Better Balance points per serving. For lunch, we're making cranberry pecan chicken salad. And I'm starting with 3 cups of cooked chicken. Now, I made mine in the Instant Pot, and I seasoned it really well. If you don't season your chicken, which you really should, then you're going to have to season the whole mixture. But it really tastes better if you get the chicken good and salt and peppered. I used house seasoning. And then that was just a 1/3 cup of dried cranberries that I got from nutstop.com. This is 1 stalk of celery that I chopped, and I just buy these little individual serving packs from Walmart. There's like 3 to a pack, because even though you can freeze it, I still don't use that much celery before it goes bad in the freezer. Now, a subscriber suggested that I toast my pecans, which is what I did in the pan, and just let them cool off. And this is 1/3 cup of chopped pecans. My original recipe is for almonds. But go ahead and mix these ingredients together. And then the next thing we're going to add is a 1/2 cup of what I'm using is Kraft Light mayonnaise. Now, My original recipe was for Duke's because that's when I was doing low carb, and it's all about the mayo. So this is the lightened up version. Just mix your mayonnaise in really, really well. Get it all nice and combined. Now, the original recipe also calls for lemon juice, but this Kraft mayonnaise is tangier than Duke's, and I didn't want to just blindly put the lemon juice in there, so I give it a taste, and it does not need lemon juice, so that will be reflected in my recipe on the website. It does, however, need to be creamier. I didn't want to up the points, so I'm going to add some plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And I just started out doing like 2 tablespoons at a time because I really wasn't sure how much. So the first 2 I put in there and I stir, and I noticed that it needed just a little bit more. So I added 2 more tablespoons, which that will be 1/4 cup of the Greek yogurt. Now you can add mayonnaise, but just adjust your points. Now to get the proper serving size, I want to weigh it. I already know how much my bowl weighs, and I'm going to insert a picture here in a minute that shows you the chart that I keep in my cabinet door. And it's also on my website for you to print out and, customize it as you need. So that's why I didn't have to tear it out. So I saw how much the bowl weighed, how much the whole thing weighed, and I subtracted. Of course, I used Alexa to get how much chicken salad I had. Then I divided by 8. Well, I'm going to get my little dish out to see. It was like 79 grams, I think. And I want to see what that looks like because I have to actually see it to know if it's going to be enough for a sandwich. Get on here. I go past the 79. I don't know. We're getting there. I get to 80 something, I think. And to me, that did not look like enough. So again, I asked Alexa and I divided it by 6. That came up to 102 grams, and that was a good size to me. And as it turns out, they're almost perfectly 1/2 cup servings. These are little 1/2 cup containers. That makes them 5 points per serving. And that is all for the meal prep this week. Happy Mother's Day, and I will see you on my next video.